Hello, my name is Liam Roche. My student number is 102568843, and this is my Robotic Process Automation Design second assignment, Part A. Before we look at the technical side of things, we'll look at the business side. First, we'll have a look at the stakeholders, the process, and the reasoning behind this project. First, the stakeholder. I've selected as the stakeholder the Reese Service Desk Team Lead. I've selected this person because this is a person I'm currently employed by. I'm currently a member of the service desk team, so I have a personal insight onto how things work and how things can be improved. The process. It's a common task that gets completed daily by all of the service desk officers by thousands of machines per year, resulting in a mundane, repetitive, and time-consuming task. The reason, as alluded to, it's time-saving, cost-cutting, and easy to use. These were all three factors that I took into consideration when creating my project. So let's have a look at the actual issue resolved by introducing my robotic process automation. So the idea of it is it's a disk cleanup for PCs who have not run in a long time. Generally, a lot of the retail outlets at Reese don't generally run PC cleanups or shut down their machines. This results in long uptime and extremely full disks, leading to increased slowness. We also look at cleaning the user profile for hot desks. Because there's so many hot desks at Reese, multiple users log in at all these desks on individual computers, resulting in every time a new user login being created. Because all their information is stored in the cloud, all their information transfers over, leading to extremely large disk size if not cleared up eventually. We'll then calculate the disk size and only implement the cleanup of the user profiles if the disk size is too large. The main benefit of this is no human input is required, hence it's such a good time saver. This is because all the automation is done within the program. All the users at the end users will have to do, the employees will have to just run the task. Now we'll analyze by applying the business process model. Before this flowchart even begins, we perform a disk process cleanup, which will be explained more in detail in the second part of this assignment. However, after that stage, we begin by opening the File Explorer, as shown in this flowchart, and check for disk space. If the disk is close to full or at full, then we'll continue. Otherwise, the program will end after the disk cleanup. If it is full, we'll select 3 of the user profiles, just because there's generally 5 to 7 user profiles on any given machine at any given time. We'll then archive them by zipping them up and putting them in a folder. In a zip folder. We'll then delete the original user profiles. These are the folders that are taking up the space. We'll keep any relevant information in case it needs to be kept there in the zipped up files. We'll then close the File Explorer, then end the task. This way, we should clean up a lot of space and save the folders just in case that users need that data or can't regain it or it's just locked on a specific PC, which is rarely the case. But it's good to have these precautionary measures just in case. We'll then develop a rollout and implementation strategy for this program. Firstly, we'll train the service desk employees and team leaders on why this RPA is useful and beneficial and how it will save them time. Secondly, we'll have an in-depth look at the functionality of the software and how it works, so the service desk employees can modify it, make adjustments, or make recommendations based on what they've learnt. Third, we'll deploy the software into hot desk PCs via SCCM, System Center Configuration Manager. This is software that Reese uses and has a license for, which allows end users in the service desk to deploy software onto PCs. We'll deploy this onto just a few PCs at the start to begin with to test it out. Fourthly, we'll send out communications to all branch managers via Workplace. Workplace is the medium that Reese used to communicate all their information to employees and staff. We'll then reflect on it and decide if this program is viable and makes sense in the future for Reese. We'll now have a look at some challenges. We'll identify any challenges or risks for implementing the automation process and provide some solutions to overcome these threats. The number one challenge will always be employee onboarding for both the staff and the end user. Firstly, the staff to teach them how and why this software is useful and important and how it can be used to save their own time, and the end user as well, to make sure they're able to identify the fact that this is a Reese-owned program and not a virus when implemented at the beginning. There will also be hot desk variables. Some of the older PCs will still have the old name functionality and have their users be logged in as different naming conventions rather than what the program tries to identify. This program, as we'll later find out, looks for users' profiles starting with USR_, which is what all modern Reese machinery labels new login users as. However, this might be not the case for old PCs. We're also reliant on it for storage clearance. Because Reese users aren't able to clear the storage themselves and don't usually restart the computers, it's reliant on the user to actually use the software, which links back to the employee onboarding. Let's have a look at a detailed consideration for the potential future use of the app within the business. We could have a weekly automated run during a Friday afternoon before close. However, if this was the case, we would need to have the program run on the system open, which may take RAM of the computer and cause it to run slower in the meantime when not being activated. We could expand to clear out Chrome caches and not running antivirus activity checkups. This way, Reese won't have to run it themselves. We could build in email functionality to alert the user when the app has completed itself, when it's completed the storage, or has found a virus in the system and needs to be reported to the Reese service desk. We can also use this for disk monitoring and auto alerts when space gets low to use the program before it's too late. Thanks for listening to Part A of this assignment. In Part B, we'll have a more thorough look at the technical side of things, how the program runs from start to finish, and how it was created. Thank you for your time.